You want to bring in a new law? I've got the best law. The only thing we're going to watch is the money. Where it goes, how much it is. If something's wrong, we'll catch it. If there's something wrong with the money, we'll catch it. That money's an evil guy. He comes in all kinds of colors. He even shows up on white paper as numbers. That money's a funny guy. Goes in one side, goes out the other. Didn't matter what passage it made. Everybody seems to be having fun with that money. Ooh, almost like Bonnie and Clyde. The money and the change. You can keep what's left over, sir. Thank you very much. I've got the change. As things know, they've got to change. Money has become evil. If we follow it, those who make it move will now start to jitter. It's the money, not the people we should follow, but the money. Because the money will tell you everything. Eventually, it all gets spent. You can only have one $10 million house unless you just want to throw away your money. And then there's another incentive for the passage of the money. Why throw it away unless there's something else to get? Everybody knows nobody wastes any money. If GM would have thrown out all those cars that weren't bringing back any money, they would have never lost all that money. Money gets lost because of people's greed and because of what everybody expects. I'm sorry, I don't have it in order, sir. Well, okay, I'm not going to order from you anymore. Next year I'll get another supplier. So everybody's afraid. So we make too much and then we waste too much and then things just don't go right. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's put the two sides together and create. From two sides, 3 and 3 is 6. What has happened was the potion of 9. Love potion number 9. 3, 3, and 3. A, B, C, A, D, G, E, S, P. I don't have to say any more. I've seen those chemtrails again in the sky. I know they want to knock us out to die. I should be shaking, I want to cry, but I'm more frustrated than anything else. Death is not what I'm worried about. Me, I'm worried about is I don't like anybody taking advantage of the rest of the people. So I'll stand in the firing line because I believe I'm coming back. Although I do have family, and I have to respect them, we have to stand in the right way. But then again, I got my stick. Without this stick, my friends, you know what I'm saying? When you got a hard rod, you know what I'm saying? I got my stick. This is the same as Moses had. Okay, so we went through 3 minutes over here. You heard what I had to say. Now this is what I have to say next. Okay. Something's going on and it ain't good. Something's going to happen and we all know it. This is not just new news. This is the same news. This is recomforting all those who've already said it to say, I believe in you. I'm with you. Something's going to happen. The next 3 years are going to be the craziest years since the time of Christ. That's the way I believe it. They're talking about, I just read in some part of the Bible, is Christ coming back in 2015. And 2015 makes 35, which actually means C and E. C and E is that creation and E-world passage. It is the 2. You see, when you're in the center world, right, and you're on top, you're number 2. When you're on the west side, you're 4. When you're on the east side, you're 6. When you're down below, you're 8. That's the way it works. It just works that way. How do I know? What am I supposed to say about these things? Maybe we should all stop playing cards, right? Like everybody thinks they put all these things here because that's where they go, right? Absolutely not. No moons on Venus, no moons on Mercury. 13th letter in the alphabet as 4. V for Venus. 22nd letter in the alphabet, 2 and 2 is 4. They both say 4 and 4. That means delta is a corner of God, 1 and 2. If it is a corner and a delta, It's a dude, D-O-O-D, for the delta corner between no moons and no moons between Mercury and Venus. The letter M and the letter V. You can always say the letter N for Neptune and the letter V for NV of sorts. 61 moons. Isn't that incredible? Saturn, 61 moons. Where do they get the 2 moons? How do they match up? Does Saturn pick up all the moons on one side? You see, I figured Jupiter, right, works one set of moons, and then Saturn works the other set of moons, because Saturn is 6 and Jupiter is 5 to 1, 3, 7, and 9. So 5 and 6 would be actually what the wolf is, howling at the moon. Number 41, 40 for the game, 1 for the angel, 30 for the creation, 10 for God, 1 for the angel. You can keep adding them up and down and up and down and whatever you want. Is the Christ coming? Who knows? What's a Christ? All I know is he is mighty. That's all I hear. Christ Almighty, Christ Almighty. Well, okay, he's so mighty, that's fantastic. But he ain't here. Whatever he's mighty in, good for him. We've got our own world to live in. And like I said, all these, this chemtrail bit, I don't like it. So that's why it reminded me of the moons. Who actually knows the truth about the moons? These moons, my friend, are satellite electronic. I think that almost everything that exists, you must remove 1 0 for it. Even though we're into this world as Trinity, as Spirit, Angel, and Man, we're only actually 2 sides. So there's going to be in the totality an extra 0, because there are 4 zeros in all, 4 corners, the 4 major corners. Let's see if I got this here. I did something this morning, you know. Here are just basically the 4 corners, just to start off. 1 corner, 1 corner, 1 corner, 1 corner. This is an open-ended corner. The corners in here have been sealed by this one and this one. Now here's 4 corners over here. So these are your 8 corners, okay? Of the 4 you don't see here, the 8 you don't see here, and the 4 you don't see here. So you got 4, 8, and I think 16 that you don't see. 16 and 8 is the 24 hours of the clock. Okay? It's like a spiral clock. Zzz, and the world turns over and it goes zzz, and the world turns over and it goes zzz. Anyways, okay, where were we next? Okay, now I don't remember where I was, but I will show you something. I tried to draw the letter B over here. See the letter B? Something like that. And then all of a sudden I put the thing next to it because I made it too long and I got 18. And that would be the letter R. And even the B does look like the R on top. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's below. And then I tried to do it over here. Again, the B. And if you really take a notice of it, okay, it looks, okay, where is it? See like that? See all these empty spaces here? Half space, half space, half space, half space. This would go to another one on this side of it, and we'd have a number 1 inside of it, and an 8, 1, 8. Okay, now what does it mean? Here we have the same thing where I created the 8. I just designed it a little bit different. I put this in front. This would create also the letter B. It's all about ABC, okay? So if God was 1, then he's automatic, and B, the minute it becomes AB, okay, B says 1 and 3. I am A, the minute it says I am B, B says I'm 1 and 3 because of its design on the inside. Now this one, okay, see the 11 here and the 11 here? This is only the letter M. But now you would see 1, 2, 3 sticks, okay, the letter V and 2 sticks. So we can look at it as a Roman numeral of some sort. The same thing with this one. What this is, see the star over here? Well, I just spread it out a little bit. This is what the star is, okay? 2, 5, and 8, okay, is what God does here. God does 2, 5, and 8. He does it to 1, 3, 7, and 9. And then he does, okay, 1, 3 goes along with 4, 5, 6 with 7 and 9. It's this one and this one. He plays two roles. He plays here from the mind, okay? The three parts of the mind starts here. 1, 2, 3, okay? And then man's life. I don't know exactly how that works, but the birth works from over here, right over here. This is, I didn't finish this, but this is one side of it, and this is another side of it. You see the way it opened up? All I do is make squares and squares in a certain formation, like depending what I want to do. If I say it's 4:30 in the afternoon, so I'll do it, but I'll do it in 4 different ways, because when one clock bends on this side, the other clock bends on this side. What is up on this side is now down on this side. But if you put something up, then what was up before that you saw, you will no longer see, and what was below will still be in the same place, yet you'll be just at the same different coordinates just above the line. The 3 letters of spring, SPR, is a combination, okay, and the reason for that is because ING is a combination. And when you say spring, it's 2 different combinations. SPR, first of all, okay, is all about the game of pool. The cue ball gets a total of 16, 17, 18, and it also gets the totality of the 19. Okay, because why? Because the 19 is the actual first come around of 1 and 9, creating the first 10. That's the reason for it. So SPR would give you 719, or it would give you 8 and 1, which is the 81 worlds, which creates only a 9. SPR creates a 9, spring, which is good. ING creates 9, 5, 14, 4 and 1 is 5 of one side, 5, 7, 12 of 1 and 2 is 3 on the other side, and that creates a 7 worlds. So we have one place in spring where it created a 9, the other part created a 7. 7 and 9 is 16, 7 times 9 is 63, 63 and 16 equals a total of 79, the same 2 numbers again. So we know the roll of this is not a continuous roll, it's a repetitive roll. Instead of a continuous like pi, it's now a repetitive 7 and 9, which is September, the scepter of the creation of the totality. Another thing I want to mention before I go is a home run, right, is a circuit in French. But a circuit is like having the element of electricity or cooking, electric. In French, if you get a home run, it's also a circuit, and if you get a grand slam, it's called grand chelem. And grand chelem, CH, is creation heaven, okay, of love. And it's also saying chelem is almost like saying Hashem. They're almost saying home run and Hashem at the same time, because when you bring all 4 home, 3 on base and yourself, that's what life is all about. Connecting to the four bases. You're the only one actually moving anybody. You're at the plate. Man is at the plate for his whole life. And if you look into roulette, 8, 10, 11, 13, 26, 29, 28, 31, those are 2 expressions that they have on roulette. Everything that I've ever seen in my life, I have infiltrated. I'm almost 50 years old. I have put almost everything in my life inside a number. It's the definition of the number, the coordinates of space, and when it is used, is actually going to tell the whole story and truth of whether or not my lingo works. Anyways, besides that, I saw a crop circle yesterday, and inside of it, there was a coded word on the grass. Nobody saw it because I turned the picture upside down, and that's what I look for. Where are we going to go next? To the gunfight? Nah. I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down. What does he say next? I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. You got to figure out what he says next. Blow your house down. Couldn't figure that one out. Anyways, I want to know what's going on in the world. I believe that back to the Brown Star and Nibiru and all this, I had a poker account. And that's what I flashed as my image on that account from the last 7 years. So I believe in that stuff. I believe in it mostly because I've seen others talk about it, not because I've seen anything, because I'm hoping this is all true, because finally we're going to get to see what planet we're on. Oh, what planet we on? We're on a mound of, of, of ground, and we've got a couple of oceans out there. And we have a big cold place called the North Pole and the South Pole, and we got people governing from governments that have taken over and think they have the right to dictate to the people. This is where we live, where we want love and then we destroy, where we have money and buy but never appreciate. Why do we need so much? The more we have, the more you always want to exchange for better. But then again, if you do not continue to rise in a certain area, then the goals of God, of knowledge and creation, will not be expanded. It's very tough on the mind for what's going on right now. We all want, and no one can afford, and everybody knows everybody's going to go bankrupt. But in between all this is the chemtrails and the dirty evil plot to kill the world. Raphael 72:86. Do I believe the Messiah is coming? I believe he's here. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. The more that we believe we hear, the more we feel entrusted that something less is going to happen. Oh, believe you me, here or not here, something's going to happen. 72:86.